arcade gamers, and welcome back to Biggie D's Arcade. Tonight is my 35th Chill and Chat live on a Sunday evening with you guys. We're going to be discussing home arcade, arcade 1-up, AtGames. We got a lot on the plate tonight for our live stream, so let's go ahead and get into it. And I want to say hi to everyone who is in the chat. Something happened where when I started the stream, I had lost the previous chats. But I know Carl O was in here. And then I believe we've got a few more chats coming in here now as well. Goofyfoot is in the house. He's saying classic after 5 years. Yeah, so we're going a little bit backwards in ways with the classic edition arcade 1-ups. I'm going to go through that with you guys tonight, and we'll get into some detail on what we're getting with these new classic line of arcade cabinets. Made in Canada is here. He's saying, let's go. And Carl O's here. He's saying, hey, Jason M., that's pretty cool you interviewed DM. So we've got a lot on the plate tonight. There was actually some new information I got right before the stream that I'm going to be covering as well. Some pretty exciting stuff. So we'll just go ahead and get right into it tonight and not really waste any time getting started. So what I want to start with tonight is the Time Crisis Deluxe. And that's kind of the headline news for this week because this is a cabinet that we've been waiting for well over a year since the GameFly leak came out that had leaked this cabinet for us. And then over the last year, we've been seeing pictures, we've been seeing video, we've been seeing listings on websites across the world. So there's been a lot that has led up to this, right? And it feels like we've been talking about it forever. Well, it's actually finally going to happen. It's finally here. It's official on Tuesday, this upcoming Tuesday, the 22nd. Arcade 1-up is officially going to announce the Time Crisis cabinet. So let's go ahead and get into that and why I know that, why we know when it's happening and all. A couple more people are coming in here. I want to say hi to them. It looks like Darren Kane has made it. He's saying Arcade 1-up staff refuge present. And Galaga88 is here as well. Good to see you, Galaga88. And I was really happy to see you, Galaga Guy 88, win that cabinet from To Die For this week during the Arcade Anonymous stream. I thought that was really cool that you won that big prize. So congratulations on that. Thought that was really cool. But let's look here at why we know that Time Crisis is going to be announced on Tuesday, the 22nd. So this was a posting on Instagram. I found it kind of unusual because they didn't really advertise it, or at least yet they haven't advertised it on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. This has only been advertised on Instagram. So I found that pretty interesting that we were going to only get news there. So it seems like maybe they're trying to like shift their marketing efforts and how they advertise and how they get this information out there. And it looks like right now, primarily they're using the platform Instagram to get this information out there to us. So I'll read this to you guys. This is what's posted there for Tuesday. And it says, join Cyrus and a few surprise guests on that 1-up show live on August 22nd at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific on our YouTube channel. Major title revealed. And it's one that you've all been waiting for. You won't want to miss it. And it looks like they're going to have about 6 guests on the show. So it's going to be Cyrus and 6 other special guests. We don't know who those others will be. If I had to guess, I would say David McIntosh. Maybe Emily will be there. Hopefully John D will be there. It would be nice to see his face and see him, be a part of this after all this confusion on his employment and what's going on with that. So hopefully we see John D on Tuesday. But this is a big deal. This is the first major event or live stream that Arcade 1-up has done since the whole giveaway, rig giveaway scandal. So this is like their first time doing a live stream since then. Are they going to have to address a lot of that stuff? Are they going to have to address the John D stuff during this stream? We'll see. They may avoid those kind of questions and just focus on this cabinet release, which is Time Crisis, so we'll have to see. But it is a big deal. It's the first time we're going to see Arcade 1-up live in quite some time. So I'm excited for it. I'll be working during this time at 3 p.m. on the 22nd, but hopefully I can step away from my desk for a little bit and watch this. And they typically don't run very long. They normally only go 30 minutes or less on a new product release. So hopefully I can fit it in and see it live. Got a few comments here I want to bring up as well. Jason here, he's saying, yeah, I got to interview a few people and met quite a few people like LL Cool J, Run DMC. And I don't know why your icon there didn't come up, Jason. Hopefully the next chat will. Papa Brad, one of our members, he's saying, hello, gamers. Good to see you, Papa Brad. He also, Brad gave me a heads up earlier, about an hour before the stream. So some of the content that we're going to be discussing tonight and some of the things I'm going to be showing you here are thanks to Papa Brad. So I appreciate that. He gave me the heads up. And Gallagher Guy 88 is just saying hi to Papa. And Carlo says Time Crisis is going to be announced. Absolutely. Yeah, there's no doubt about it that we're getting Time Crisis. Carlo says, did you say Emily, the French-Canadian babe, will be there? Then I will definitely be there. Yeah, so I think she's going to probably be a part of this. I kind of have like some, I guess this is speculation. I have no information on this, but it kind of looks like potentially John D may be moving out of Arcade 1-Up. But if he does do that, and he does decide to make that move out of Arcade 1-Up to somewhere else or some other job, or maybe he doesn't want to work at all right now, I think Emily could kind of fill that void where John D left. I think Emily may kind of take the reins of Arcade 1-Up moving forward. We probably will see her a lot more in the future if that happens. I've kind of been following a little bit about what she's done with the Casino-cade and the Wheel of Fortune Casino-cade. I think she did a really good job with that. She's proven herself that she can develop these products and put them out there and advertise them and make them successful. So I think they will utilize her possibly on the arcades if John D were to leave. You know, if John D's still with the company, he's the arcade guy. Emily's going to be more of like the other products, you know, their tablets, their Infinity game boards and tables, as well as the Wheel of Fortune Casino-cade. So that she handles that kind of business. John D handles the arcade business. But if John D were to leave, I think Emily could kind of fill that void and do both and handle it all. Because if they're going to decrease the staff, she's going to have to take on more responsibility. So I think we will see her, though, and to answer your question, I think we will see her on Tuesday. Dr. Freeman says, is anyone interested in the Time Crisis cab? I'm absolutely interested in this cabinet. I've already said many times I'm going to get it day one. I will not pre-order. I'm not a person that pre-orders. I'm against that completely right now with the way that previous pre-orders have gone. So I'll be waiting till it's actually for sale. But as soon as I see that and it's ready to buy, I'm going to purchase. And it doesn't matter the price. I mean, I'll pay up to $7.99. This is just a cabinet I've been waiting for and wanting that long that I'm willing to kind of pay whatever it takes to get it. So let's kind of look at why I know that this is a Time Crisis cabinet. It is pretty obvious here. So on the left, we're looking at an Instagram post, which says Tuesday, August 22nd, 6 p.m. Eastern, new product reveal. And that it's going to be on that 1-Up show. But you can see that silhouette. It's very obvious what it is. I mean, you've got the foot pedal, the marquee matches up, just like they've done with the previous 1-Up shows. It's never a mystery. We're never wondering what the actual product release is. We always know, it seems. Now, we do like to speculate, and what I've done in the past is kind of speculate, you know, they're making this so obvious. Would they throw in something else to kind of, you know, surprise us in this same product reveal? Would they give us another product at that same time that we knew nothing about and completely surprise us? That's always possible, and I've done that in the past. But I'm not going to do that this weekend because I don't think that I've been burned on that in the past, thinking that they would surprise us, and they never do. So I think, again, this is going to just be it. It's going to be Time Crisis. We're going to know what it is going into it. And we'll get more information on what we're getting, hopefully, and we'll get to ask some questions and get some answers to that. Darren Kane, he says, I worked for her for a short time before I left. It looks like they've got some conversation going on here. Atran is here. He's saying, "Hey everybody, good to see you, Atran." And let's see here. JJ's here. So I sent JJ his T-shirt. He got third place, I believe, and I've already ordered the T-shirt. I don't know if it's been printed or shipped yet. I ordered one for myself that same day, and I've noticed it's already shipped. But as soon as I get tracking, JJ, I'm planning on sending you and AA 2018 your tracking numbers. And then if Brent happens to join us tonight, he should have gotten his countercade, NBA Jam countercade yesterday. So it'd be nice to see if he joins and lets us know if he's gotten it. But let's see here. So Dr. Freeman's asking if it's $5.99. It's looking like it's going to be $5.99 or $6.99 possibly. They always try to add that extra $100 on. So it very well could be $6.99, but hopefully $5.99. That is fair. That's the price I want to see. I thought maybe $7.99, but that kind of got shot down. I don't know if you guys watched Michael B last night, but I was on his live stream with a bunch of other guests, and Michael B kind of shot down the idea of the $7.99 price through the GameFly leak, because that was international pricing, and he knows that a little better than we do here in the U.S. because he does the conversion on Canadian to U.S., and he's saying that $7.99 would be more like $5.99, $6.99 US. So that's where we're at. JJ says, "Hey, Biggie D, why so many Ds? Just joined the stream. Looking forward to your thoughts on the Arcade 1-Up deal. It's pretty clear that John D is gone and they are up for sale, but who knows? It's a private company." Yeah, no one knows. Everyone's speculating. No one knows if John D still works there or doesn't work there. I'm going with that he still does work there. And the reason I'm doing that more out of respect for him, because he's showing on his Twitter that he still works there and he's still the senior VP of Arcade 1-Up. So I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt that he does still work there until that changes. Once I see him make it known and make it public, then I'll go with that story that he no longer works there. But I think it's a little premature for people to be discussing that he's already gone when we don't know for a fact. And we've done this before, you know, like we saw the writing on the wall with iArcade and we jumped the gun with iArcade. We had live streams talking about how they were going out of business. And it was a month or so after that that they actually went out of business. Now, same kind of situation with John D. It may be a month from now or 2 months from now we see him leave the company or they make it known or make it public. But we shouldn't really be talking about it right now. We should talk about it when it happens, out of respect for especially John D, because it is his job, it's his business, and that's pretty private stuff and not stuff that you want to share with people until you're ready. As far as the company going and being sold or having financial issues and they're wanting to sell the company, I've heard nothing like that. The only thing I've seen in regards to that is P-Dub's video talking about Arcade 1-Up potentially selling next year. That is the only thing I've seen. And if you read the description in there, it's all speculation. He has absolutely no idea. That is completely 100% for entertainment, to get us chatting about it and talking about it. There is nothing backing that idea that they're being sold or they are in the process of selling. So I think things are heading up. They're in the upward direction right now for Arcade 1-Up. They're going to have a solid, like I voted in 19K Fox's poll, they're going to have a solid end of this year. Hopefully they get a really good jump on next year. And this is all history. And all this talk about, being sold or them not doing well will not be talked about again. It'll be something we forget and we move on from it. I think things are heading good in the right direction for Arcade 1-Up right now. As far as, let's see here if we got any other comments on Time Crisis. It says Galaga Guy 88 says, "I think the licensing will suffer, but company reputation will go up with John D gone." That's just an observation. So that's a good observation. Licensing's definitely going to suffer. There's no question about that. That is what John D does so well, is he gets us these games, secures these licenses to make these products, and that is his strong point. That is what he does best. So with him gone, that is something they're going to be lacking, and they're going to be, trying to fill that. and find someone that can fill that void, or at least get that licensing back where they need it to be with him gone. Now, as far as the reputation of the company Arcade One Up, that brings up another really good point, in that it could help their reputation with retailers, with other potential investors in the company. If it doesn't even necessarily need to be John D gone from the company, just gone from the spotlight for a while. He's always kind of smoked those e-cigs or those vapes on the interviews. There's been some questionable things discussed in some of those interviews and some of those live streams. He's not always very professional in the way he presents himself. So if he were gone, I would want him to be gone out of the spotlight for the company, not necessarily be the face of the company. He'll be doing all the things that he does well, which is behind the scenes on the licensing. But for the media and the marketing and all that, let's take John out of that for a period of time, build up the reputation back, confidence in investors and retailers to work with us in the future. So those are good points, Gallagher Guy 88. Definitely agree with you on those, and good discussion. So let's look here. So we obviously can easily see what this is going to be on Tuesday. No doubt about it. Time Crisis. We've discussed many times on these live streams, and I've had many videos on this cabinet. So this here is just a listing on Best Buy for Time Crisis Deluxe. Now, I made this listing. So just FYI, guys, you can't go to Best Buy and find this right now. This was just for the purpose of this live stream, as a demonstration of what it would look like on a Best Buy website if it was listed there right now. But let's say Tuesday, once the live stream is over with, they typically will make those units either available for sale or pre-order immediately after the stream. Likely this is a deluxe. It's going to be on the Best Buy website. So I put in there a price of $599. I think that's what we're looking at. $600. That's fair. That's reasonable. If they tack on the extra $100 and we get into the $700 range, they're going to be asking too much. I'll still pay it because I'm going to buy it regardless. But for those people that are on the fence, or those people that need to sell a cabinet in order to make room for this one, that $100 could be a make or break situation for them. So don't do it like Wheel of Fortune. Don't just tack on the extra $100 at the very end right before you make it for sale. Keep it reasonable price. Also, I'm looking at a release date. If you guys looked at my calendar that I've done on this live stream and I've brought up on community posts recently, I had Time Crisis releasing in October. I still think we're getting this in October. So pre-orders would probably start on Tuesday. This would ship and be available probably early October. And then we already saw that they have shipped. If we look at the port data, this has already arrived in the United States several weeks ago, almost a month ago. So these things are sitting in crates, ready to be sold. Only thing that was holding this process up was that FCC delay in the FCC filing paperwork, which I had showed you guys last week. It looks like they've gotten all that cleared up. And so these should be ready, available. I put October on here with a pre-order, but I kind of want to set the stage for possibly these may just go for sale on Tuesday, and we can just outright buy them starting Tuesday, because they've been here for some time. Typically, we'll see the port data where they ship and they arrive. The FCC filing will happen right around that time, but then we got all that additional FCC delays going on last week, and that I think is why this hasn't already been on shelves and we haven't already been able to buy it. Let's look here at some of the comments here that have come up. Dr. Freeman says, I sold all my one-ups, broke even, and I'm very happy. So that's really cool. You're making room, you're selling the one-ups, and you made your money back. So now you're kind of starting fresh now, Dr. Freeman. If you're interested in new cabinets, you can kind of reassess, which ones do I want to get now that I've got all my one-ups sold? Do I want to be more limited on what I get? Do I want to get more multi-cades? That's a pretty cool place where you're at where you're starting fresh again and you didn't lose a whole bunch of money in the process. Carl O, one of our members, he says, what do you think about Michael joining AtGames, Papa Brad? So you're talking about Michael Svebeck, I believe, and I did see some rumors that he was going to AtGames. I saw he moved out of Chicago. It didn't really say where he was moving or where he was going, but I saw a lot of rumors that he could be going to AtGames. If that's true and he doesn't tell us up front, maybe it'll be a big surprise in Cleveland. I know he's going to try and be there. Galaga Guy 88 says if P-Dubs actually knew, he wouldn't talk about it. He'd get in a lot of trouble if he did and discuss the company selling. Yeah, so if he actually knew that information, he wouldn't make that speculation video that he made. We heard Michael B say last night, or maybe this was after we pressed the end button and we were chatting after, I don't know. I think he said it live, but he said, if you guys see me make a speculation video, it's probably not going to happen because he can't speculate on things that he knows. If he has inside information, he can't even talk about it. So if you actually see him doing that, then you know for a fact that's not coming. That's not in the near future, at least. Same with P-Dubs. Gregory says, I think AtGames is smart for grabbing Michael. Yeah, if they get Michael, that is huge. And I would love to see Michael stay in home arcade. He's such a likable guy, and he was great for iArcade. For him to bring that to AtGames would be incredible. Headshake TV says, Crate 68421, if anyone in Long Beach area wants one early. I remember when Fast and the Furious that happened, and we had a bunch of them get sold before the release because they fell off a truck or they got stolen. Very easily could happen, especially if they're just sitting in a warehouse waiting for FCC paperwork and they've been sitting there for the last month collecting dust. You never know what might happen to some of those units. And Brooklyn Menace says, we knew for a while now. AtGames Cadians, he's saying, we welcomed him with open arms. He is at AtGames, Biggie D. So that's cool. If that's for sure a fact that Michael is with AtGames, that's so good. That's great news. I'm so happy to hear that. Brooklyn says it's already out, Brad, so we don't need to keep it a secret anymore if you're talking about Michael and AtGames. So let's get in here to my next subject. So we're leading right in to the discussion that I had on tap for us next. So I started these slides this morning. It was probably around 10 or 11 a.m. Pacific time that I had started making these slides. And I just wanted to discuss 4K because we hadn't discussed these 4KP products here in a few weeks. And we know it's coming. And I didn't really have any big news to discuss, but I wanted to get it back in the rotation. And so I went to Wagner's Tech Talk, and I was very surprised to see a couple of status updates here that were posted just in the last few days. I'll put a link down to his channel in the description after the live stream. So if you guys are rewatching this or after this ends, you want to go check out Wagner's Tech Talk, I definitely recommend that you check him out. He is kind of the... He's kind of working with AtGames. I don't know if he's just a contractor or if he's now an employee of AtGames. I don't know what's going on there, but he is like the face of their new 4KP products that are about to release. They're sending him these demo units, and he's got exclusive access to this, so he can make content, he can make tutorials, reviews, everything we're going to need prior to Cleveland before we actually see this in person. So he's going to give us a lot of really good information here over the next month leading into Cleveland. But let's look at the current status. Okay, so on the 17th, he says it's here. It's here. The Eagle has landed. So the 4KP pinball machine was in his home on the 17th, just a few days ago. And then yesterday, the 19th, he says the very first video production is underway. I'm hoping to release it Tuesday morning, and he's going to be sharing photos and other things leading up to that. So these photos here were the photos that were leading up before his official reveal of this and that video that he was producing. So these I pulled this morning. But these are just a couple of images showing you the top right there where the inputs normally are. It looks a little bit different. We just got a power button, a channel, and a volume. Most of your inputs now, instead of being up on top where the screen's at, they're going to be on the back here. So you're going to see he wanted to really show how they've moved those inputs to the back, making them a little more accessible and out of the way. Now he had put this breakdown up here, kind of giving you guys all the measurements of everything. And I'm not going to go through each one of these, but you can easily see, how much bigger this is going to be than the previous one. It's deeper, it's taller, it's got a bigger back box. You got 3 screens now. So they're doing a whole lot with this in comparison to the previous Legends Pinball. Now here's some just specs on it, and just kind of glossing over this and looking at it. Some things that stand out to me are going to be the CPU. It's got the Rockchip RK3588 CPU. This is the more high-end, more modern board that they're going to be using, which is capable of 4K. That's key, is that this thing is powerful enough to run 4K. Your storage, 32 gigs, 3 displays. So previous, we had 2 displays. Now we're getting 32-inch 4K playfield, 23.8-inch HD back glass display, and an 8-inch HD dedicated DMD display. Let's see here. Anything else that stands out to me is going to be the CE4K interface. That's going to be the new UI. And then, of course, everything else is about the same here that we're looking at. I'm not going to read all those for you. Now, some quick observations. I thought some of these were pretty interesting. These were just his initial impressions or observations of what he saw when he pulled it out of the box and started measuring everything. It is 3 inches wider. The 4KP backbox display is 8.2 inches larger. It's got that third DMD display. And I thought that DMD display was going to be optional. Now it's looking like it's going to be standard on all. You're not going to pay extra. It comes on all of them. The legs are black instead of gray. And the speakers are a little bit bigger. They're 1.5 inches larger. And the cabinet height. So all this is pretty cool. But I had only brought all this up for you guys because this was before Wagner Tech Talk actually released his video a couple hours before I started this live stream. And Papa Brad had actually sent me a text. He's like, hey, you got to get on Wagner's Tech Talk. He dropped his video. So I immediately went and I pulled some of that video for the live stream tonight so we can comment on that. And let's take a look at it here. So this is it, guys. This is the first time we've actually seen this thing in a video like this, up close. This is what we're actually getting. Now, could they make some adjustments to this, some changes to it before it releases? That's going to be a good question. I don't know. I know Carl O, he's in the chat. He's an expert on anything AtGames, so he could probably tell us, is there anything that we're seeing here that could change before they release? Or is this the final product? Is this exactly what is going to be produced and sold? That would be interesting to me. Now, on the side art, you guys can see they're doing it's kind of a collage of all the different pinball table licenses that they have. I kind of wish they would have gone with like a dedicated artwork for one game and given you the option of like 3 or 4 different games rather than doing this collage. But it seems like that's what they do. And they do it with all their products, it seems. Maybe there's something they're working out with the licensing with these deals where every deal that they make on a license requires them to include at least some part of that artwork on the cabinet. I think that would be a good logical way to explain why they do it this way. But I think it looks okay. I'm not super impressed with the art. I'll tell you that up front. But it does look okay. Would it be something I would probably want to upgrade later on? Absolutely. I'm definitely going to be looking at skins and ways that I can improve the look of this on the outside. Now, looking at it up next to the original Legends Pinball, this is really good because we were looking at all that those bullet points earlier. Instead of I guess explaining that stuff to you, we can see it in this video. So this makes it much simpler for me to explain it when you guys can see it. And so I'm glad that this video dropped in time. But he does the measurement there where you guys can see how much taller it is. It's just a couple of inches, but man, just any inch or 2 inches makes a huge difference when you're trying to hunch over and you're tall like me and you're trying to have enough, enough space to where you don't have to hunch over and you can still enjoy yourself. So 2 inches extra height is great. I'm really happy with that. Now I'm still going to use the furniture risers up under the legs. I have these little like cup looking furniture risers I put under each leg. That's going to give it probably another 2.5 inches. It'll be 4.5 inches taller than the original Legends pinball we're seeing in this video for me when I do that. So its overall height is good for me at 6'4", I think. Now, another thing that really stands out for me is this back box. You guys can see how much bigger, and I'll pause it next time that comes up. But the back box is huge on this thing. It stands way taller than it did before from the back end. See here if I can bring that up for you guys. Right here, we're going to get a good shot. Right there. You guys can see like the speakers are bigger, the back box is bigger. Everything just looks more like a real pinball machine. It's just bulkier, bigger. Exactly what we've been asking for. And let's look at this next video here. This kind of shows off just a little bit of the gameplay on this. You guys can see here, 15.6 inches on the previous screen, 23.8 inches on the new screen. It looks a lot clearer to me. Your 8-inch DMD screen actually looks pretty good. I thought that may be just like a real DMD where it won't have the color to it, but it's a full HD color screen down there in that 8-inch DMD screen. That looks really good. Now we're getting to look at the UI. We're really getting into the fun stuff here. Where he's turned it on and we're going through the menu system. This is our first look at that. Right here, he's explaining how easy it is to pull the board out. So you're just, those 6 screws, it just pops right out. And that's our first look at the board right there. So it's huge. It's a big board with a fan on it, lots of inputs. This thing is going to be the future of home arcade and our first chance and opportunity to get a 4K capable home arcade or home pinball machine. But you guys can see it looks beautiful there. And this is just using the tables through AtGames. Imagine, hooking your PC up to this, playing Pinball FX in 4K, how well and how good that's going to look. So I'm super pumped for this thing. I am like ready to for this thing to release. I know it's going to be expensive. I know it's probably going to be like $1,500. And it's going to be right on the heels of me buying Time Crisis. So, I was on live stream last night with Garage Gamer, and he was talking about how he maxed out some credit cards on arcade machines. And I don't want to get to that point, but I may very well, get about halfway to maxing out my credit cards or a fourth of the way there just between Time Crisis and this Legends Pinball 4K. Because I've got to get I got to get both these, Time Crisis and the Legends Pinball. I have to get these. Cost is not a factor for me. I'm just going to charge it on the credit card and worry about it later. But let's see here what everyone here has got to say about this thing. I know it's exciting. I've seen a lot of chats coming through since I started this discussion on the AtGames 4KP. So there's a ton of chats in here. I'm not going to pull them all up, but I'm going to pull up some that look interesting. Papa Brad's Gaming says, I've never heard from Michael himself, but it should be a good fit for him. So it sounded more and more like maybe Michael may be showing us this product at Cleveland. How cool would that be? He better get up to speed and become an expert on this product before Cleveland because he's going to get questioned. Brooklyn says the new 4K pinball looks top quality. Jason says, share your thoughts on the ALP 4K and Wagner's YouTube video comments, folks. AtGames is listening. So Jason's asking us, go to Wagner's Tech Talk video, comment in there, on the things you like or you don't like. AtGames is listening. Hopefully, they still have the ability to make some changes and fine tune a few things before the release. That would be great. Dr. Freeman, he says, is there any word on the price? We still do not have a word on the price. My guess is $1,500. I've heard Michael B also say $1,500, I believe is what he said. And he's pretty in the know on the AtGames pricing. Gregory says black legs look really good. Absolutely. I like the black legs way better. The Sega Stern legs. I saw a lot of people buying those aftermarket for the first pinball. Looks like they've taken notice to that and people like the black. They went with that this time and I think it looks better. Carlo, one of our members, he says, I'm in for pre-order, Jason. I like the light buttons, coin door, back box. So that brings up a good point, guys. And Carlo said is we're going to have to pre-order this. This thing's not going to be just readily available where we can go online and just purchase it at our, whenever we want, at our freedom or time we want to do it. We're going to have to get in a wait list and basically just hope that we're in the right wave and we can get it before everyone else. There's going to be a limited number of these available starting out. And if we remember the first pinball machine that came out, the Legends pinball, they went through like wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, and it went like that for a while before it was readily available. I think that's going to be the same way with this one, if not more difficult to get because of how high quality this product is. And also a very good value. I mean, if it comes in at $1,500, it is a lot of money, but it's a very good value at $1,500 for what we're getting. I mean, look at this thing. Beautiful. It's got a huge screen on it. It's 4K. We're getting a total of 3 screens. I mean, what else could you ask for? Looks like they've improved pretty much every aspect of the previous pinball. Papa Brad's Gaming says the DMD looks fine to me, but a lot of people are saying it is small compared to the Buy Stuff store. So that brings up a good point, Papa Brad. I did think the 8-inch was a little bit small, but looking at it here in this video, which we only get a few seconds to actually see it moving. Let's see here. Now, we actually don't even get to see it playing anything, but it looks like you can see that score pretty well. And I do like that it's got a background behind it, and it looks like the color is pretty good on it. So I think it's serviceable. It'll do its job. We'll be able to see our score. That's really all that DMD is for, is just to see your score. So I think that will be fine. Now, could it have been bigger? Obviously, we would always want a bigger one if we could. Galaga Guy 88 says he's so hyped for this. He wants it. I'm very hyped for it as well. And, I'll tell you guys, I try to play all my arcades when, at least once a week or once every couple weeks. But my AtGames Legends Ultimate, I play that one 95% of the time. And that's because I have the ability to hook my PC up to it. I can play my Steam games on it. It's got so much value, and there's so much fun to be had with the AtGames. I'm super excited for this. I'm super hyped for this, just like Galaga Guy, because I know this isn't going to be a product that I purchase and it just sits in the corner of my apartment or in my living room, and it's just like something I look at. This is going to be something I actually play. This is something that I'm going to play a lot of. It's going to get a lot of use, and that's what makes me so excited about it. And good value for me, because anything that I play, it's, I'm getting my money's worth. Jason says, if you play a BSA back box, it's like real pinball and you never want to go back. OTG, pinball up popper, BPX, no way, you become spoiled with that setup. Mike Hawkert says, first thing I'd do is replace the marquee with another LCD. So if you're talking about the marquee right above the back box screen, I know what you're talking about there. I've heard a lot of people not happy with that. Let me see if I can get a good look at it here for you. Yeah, right here. So right above the back screen right here. He changes that next screen before I can ever see it really well. But there is an actual marquee right above the screen right here where it says Legends Pinball 4KP. A lot of people are saying get rid of that. Get rid of the light behind it. Actually, that saves us a little bit of money hopefully on the cost is what people are saying. Just take that off. It's an extra part you have to purchase. Let's just exclude that, lower the cost of the machine. And then a lot of people are saying, let's replace that marquee with another LCD. So you have like your bit LCD, something like that that could go up above there that could change and say something would be really cool. But for me, I mean, the way it's going to come, I'm going to be 100% happy with this thing the way it comes. And that's just because I didn't even have the Legends pinball to begin with. So this is all going to be new to me. I'm going to be happy with it the way it is. Not going to be too picky. Tim said you shouldn't go over 30% of your credit limit or it hurts your credit. If a 10K limit, don't go over 3K. That's a very good advice, Tim. So I will have to look at that and see, but I think I should be able to still stay. I should be able to get Time Crisis and the Legends Pinball 4KP and still stay under that 30% credit limit. So I appreciate you bringing that up because that's good advice for anyone who's watching. You guys are planning on buying these products. You're planning on putting them on a credit card. Don't use more than 30% of your limit because when you do that, it starts hurting your credit score. And you don't want to see that happen because your credit score goes down, then your interest rates go up, and then you can't ever pay it off. But I think I can do them all under 30, which is good. Jason says, but pinball authors really do amazing stuff on the DMD and VPX. And it looks like we're missing your avatar, Jason, tonight. That was a mix-up whenever my chat went away before I started stream. So it looks like tonight we won't see your avatar. JJ says 1,300 plus. Ouch. That's more than I computerized telescope. So while I love what they have done, it's a bit too much money to justify to my wife. Yeah, it's a lot of money. It is. And, if I wasn't in content creation and I didn't have this YouTube channel and I wasn't like seeing this stuff every week, I could probably avoid it. And I could probably convince myself not to buy this thing, but I see it all the time. I'm, learning about it so I can review it and also present it to you guys on these live streams. And it's, I can't avoid it, right? So for me, I'm getting it 100%. This is like a must-own item for an arcade enthusiast, I feel. But if I wasn't covering it every day, for that price, I would be trying to avoid buying it because it is expensive. It's a big investment. C-North says, I agree. The worst thing is that ugly marquee. I don't know why they, just like that collage of the artwork on the side panels and on the side of the pinball, it's like they have to go with that. And then also with these marquees, they have to go with these marquees. They got them on every product, it seems. And it's the same logo. You would think with the new product, the new 4KP product, they would have designed an entirely new logo, something different. People weren't really even happy with it originally, 4 or 5 years ago when the product first released. You think we would have gotten something new as far as at least the look of that. But again, I think it's hard to be picky on stuff like that because they've done such a good job on all the other parts of this cabinet. Mike Cockert says, correction, I'm making room for 2 cabs. The Killer Instinct I won from PD7, and I'm going to get Time Crisis if it's under $700. So that's awesome. You won To Die For's Time Crisis, Killer Instinct, and that you're also going to get Time Crisis. I think, Papa Brad, did you win a Killer Instinct as well? I think you won the Killer Instinct 2 hashtag. Was that another Killer Instinct cabinet? Because I think you won one too, didn't you? Atran says with 1,300, I could practically rebuild a couple of car project engines. Yeah, now you're talking. This is a lot of money we're spending on these toys. Papa Brad's Gaming member, he says, do we know the price for sure? I'm saying 1,500. That's what I think Michael B said, 1,500. Is there anyone else out there that could guess better than Michael B right now on this product price? I don't know. I mean, maybe P-Dubs is in the know a little bit on that. But I haven't heard him really talk price. Maybe we'll start hearing that this month. Um, Now, one thing I really like to see and talk about more than these 4K pinballs are super chats. And Galaga Guy 88 just sent in $1.99. What's the first table that you'll play on this? So that's a very good question, Galaga Guy 88. What table would I like to play first? And, that's a good question because I haven't played any of the Legends pinball official AtGames tables that they have available. But I would probably say Dr. Seuss. Of all the licenses that they've gotten so far, I think Dr. Seuss is the biggest one. And that's the one that has intrigued me the most. And the one that I've wanted to play the most is that one. I used to collect those books growing up. I used to read them. There were even the cartoons and movies. And I've always enjoyed Dr. Seuss. So I would say that one. But also, guys, I had actually created a pinball video, or not a pinball video, not a pinball money video, a mic money video. So I'm trying to get a new mic for Cleveland next month, guys. It's in about a month. And I told you guys that any super chat money that you guys send me is going to go back into the channel to purchase things that are going to make your experience watching better. And my first decision on as far as super chat money and revenue goes for this channel is I'm going to buy what's called a DJI wireless mic. And basically what it is, it's just like a clip-on mic you can put on your shirt, and it'll allow you to interview people out and about. So like when I'm at Cleveland, if I have a DJI mic with two of them, I can interview whoever I come across at the convention. Also, when I'm doing my Phoenix area arcade tours and my videos, if I want to like interview the owner of that business, I can just hand him a DJI mic and I can ask questions, and all that will sound good and it'll be good content for the channel. However, these mics are about $300, $350. So they're not cheap. I know the Cornercade has them. I know Justin Console Kits was using them at San Diego Comic-Con. So if you guys listen to the interview with John D, when Justin interviewed him at San Diego Comic-Con, they were using those same mics. So it's very loud in the convention. We were able to clearly hear John. We were able to clearly hear Console Kits. So I've determined these are the ones I want to go with. But I got a super chat video. I'm going to be running this for the next month. Anytime a super chat comes in, unless you guys just totally hate this video and you don't like it, I'll quit using it. But let's go ahead and run it. So thank you, Galaga Guy 88, $1.99. So yeah, Dr. Seuss on those tables. Really appreciate the $1.99. So let's see here. We got any other comments? Papa Brad says, I won a KI from PD7. So there were 2 KI cabinets that were awarded to Papa Brad and Mike Hawkhurst. That's really awesome, guys. He also said, we got to have a few online matches, Papa Brad. Yeah, I'm on there. A lot of people are playing Killer Instinct online. It's a really popular online fighting game for an arcade 1-up. There's a lot of cabinets out in circulation, a lot of people playing online. Galaga Guy 88's asking, what kind of beer are you drinking? So I'm drinking Coors Light tonight and just having a couple. Atrian saying, I'm for sure going to repaint the engine and paint the engine bay in his 82 Datsun 280ZX 5-speed slick top coupe. This is coming fall, winter. There's the goal now. And so working on those cars and getting them up to where you can drive them. That's awesome. These are going to be really nice when they're finished. And what's even nicer than that is a $5 super chat from Papa Brad's Gaming, Mike Money, $sign. So let's run it again, guys. Appreciate the super chat, Papa Brad. All right. So there we go. 2 super chats tonight. All that money will go towards those DJI mics. So if you guys are watching a live stream of me in Cleveland and I'm interviewing Mike B, or I'm interviewing B Kongs, or Michael Baybeck at AtGames, you guys are going to know that you played a part in getting me those mics to make that possible. So I appreciate it. Let's see here. Senor says, please be you. And will definitely be. Jason saying, Wagner's next video will show you the software in GUI changes. Gameplay is coming. So yeah, so this here that we're watching is just a taste. He's just giving us a very small sample of what it looks like when it loads up, looking at the UI. We haven't seen anything yet. I mean, we're literally just seeing a few seconds of it, and that's it. It's giving us a little taste. We're going to get the full videos coming soon, and it looks like it's going to be several videos he's going to make on this thing before we actually get to see it in person in Cleveland. Gallagher Guy 88 says your new name will be Biggie V-Pin, like Mickey Two Pins. Yeah, that's a good one. Change it to Biggie V-Pin. Mike Cockert says KI has all the functioning online features that always attracted me to one day buying that cab. It is. It's the greatest online as far as Arcade 1-Up goes, is the Killer Instinct cabinet. My only complaint with it is the game deck. I'm not impressed with the game deck. It's really tiny. It's small, and you know how it fits in there, and it's got those edges on the end. I'm just not a huge fan of it, but I make do. The online's incredible, and other than the game deck, I'm really happy with it. So next, guys, I want to move on to a new product. So this is a re-release, but it is a new product for Arcade 1-Up. And this is actually going to be a new line of products. It's called the Classic line. The first one that they're going to release is the Mortal Kombat 2 Classic. And I had found this week. I actually posted it on a community post earlier this week. And I actually got to this news before Reddit. You know how I told you guys last week, Reddit's always on top of new products and new Arcade 1-Up info and all that. They're like your primary source to get things as soon as possible as far as information goes. But I actually beat them to the punch on this. I'd found this Walmart listing because every morning I pretty much just Google Arcade 1-Up looking for good prices for you guys out there. So I can post out there and let you guys know if I see a clearance price or a good deal. And I'd come across this all of a sudden, Arcade 1-Up Mortal Kombat 2 Classic Arcade game. And I'd posted that on there. I'd expressed I thought it was a pretty good deal at $2.99 for what we're getting. This is an alternative to buying like the full NK2 Deluxe at $4.99. It gives you an alternative. And this is kind of like a Walmart exclusive. And they've always done this, where they sell the cabinet without the riser. Lowers the cost a little bit. They also take out the lighting behind the marquee. That saves them a little bit of money and gets them in this price range of $300 or less, which I think is really good. I think this is a fair price at $2.99. If we saw the previous line of Walmart products like this, they were $3.79. So I think they've listened and they've found from their data and their analytics that the $3.79 price just doesn't cut it. They got to get it down to $2.99. That's the sweet spot for these in-store buyers at Walmart. And they've achieved it. I think they've done a really good job. So I wanted to get into this with you guys. Steps is saying, damn, Biggie D is as smooth as 19K Fox. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to go that far. I really appreciate the comment, Steps. But 19K Fox is the master of the super chats and the transitions to super chats. No one's going to do it better than him. Lethal Wolf says, so did we get a release date on Time Crisis? We did not. No release date, but Tuesday we'll find out. So make sure to check the Arcade 1-Up official YouTube channel this coming Tuesday, the 22nd. We're going to get more information on if it's available for pre-order or if we can just go ahead and outright buy it this week. Papa Brad's Gaming says Biggie D is the next big thing in home arcade. And Dr. Freeman saying, what? No Pac-Man? And Gregory saying, don't overpay for Time Crisis, Biggie. So I've never overpaid for any home arcade. Every home arcade I have, whether it be my virtual pinball, my AtGames, my 3/4 scale Arcade 1-Ups, I've always gotten an incredible deal on every single one of them. And maybe I can do a breakdown of that with you guys one day and show you how much I've saved. But I'm ready now to just, not be cheap, right? P-Dubs always gives me a hard time. He's like, you can't be cheap all the time. You got to actually spend some money. Well, I'm actually going to take that advice and I'm going to spend some money. And I've already made the decision. And I told you guys tonight, Time Crisis, I'm going to pay full price for. And the AtGames 4KP pinball, I'm going to pay full price for. And that'll be it for me probably for the next year and a half. I probably will be maxed out as far as, my ability to charge these on credit cards. So that'll kind of get me through the rest of 2023 and hopefully most of 2024. And then by then, hopefully you got some more exciting new products then that I can consider. But I've kind of decided on these unless something just amazing comes out, which that would be like some surprise from Arcade One Up on Tuesday where they just surprise us with some new release that we've never heard of. That I don't think is likely to happen, though. I think these two products are going to be the ones I get, and I'll end up overpaying and paying full price for them. But this is also another product that has piqued my interest, and this is $299. I mean, this is a fraction of the cost of Time Crisis. It's definitely a fraction of the price of a 4KP pinball. So let's take a look at this thing. There were a lot of people that were weary of this product. They're like, no, it's just going to be missing too much stuff. Some people thought, well, maybe it's got a TN monitor. I did verify. It's got a BOE monitor, so we're good there. It's got 14 games. So it's got the entire 14 games we're getting on the deluxe cabinet, and they're all online playable. So there's already a large amount of these cabinets in circulation with the deluxe. You can buy the classic, hop online, play all those other cabinets and all those games. Also, it does not have a lit marquee, but it does have the translucent deluxe marquee. All you got to do is get an LED light strip, throw it in the marquee area behind the translucent marquee, and it'll light up just like it would on the deluxe. So you're really getting everything that you're getting with the deluxe for the most part, minus the riser and minus the coin door. Now, one kind of eyesore for this is going to be the coin door area. We see they removed the coin door, but they've added these logos. And they're kind of going backwards, right? They're going backwards to what we're seeing here, which were the logos on the Gen 1s, Gen 2, Gen 3 cabinets. And they're going back to that idea. A lot of people are not fans of that. They don't like having those logos there. But we can see that, coin doors are easy to find now. You can buy them aftermarket. And I believe if it's just black on the other side of that kick plate, we can just flip that, put in the coin door, and it'll look just like the deluxe did. So that's easily fixable. And that's what I like about these less expensive Walmart cabinets is the fact that we can buy the riser later. Or for my case, I already own a bunch of risers. I can use one of my risers I already own and maybe take like Miss Pac-Man off and put it there and put Pac-Man upstairs, maybe kind of circulate them in and out when I want. So that's cool. I'm okay with not getting the riser. I'm okay with not getting the marquee because I can put the LED light strip in there. And I'm okay with not getting the coin door right out of the box. I can always upgrade that later. So I think this is a good entry point. It's a great way to start. And if you're tight on money, but you really like Mortal Kombat, you really want to get a Mortal Kombat Deluxe, well, this is your avenue to be able to do that and at least get the hobby started and start having some fun. You may not have it exactly the way you want it, but at least you're getting a start. At almost half the cost. So those are all really good things. We've heard them say, we heard David McIntosh, we've heard Cyrus say, they're not going to abandon these riserless Walmart cabinets, these peasant version cabinets. They're going to continue to invest in these because Walmart wants to buy these. This is their market, is a less expensive cabinet that they can keep on the shelf. That people will impulse buy. They'll spend the $300 and just buy it, take it home, and maybe question or think about that later because they're not spending a ton of money. And also, I wanted to kind of also break down, what other classic arcade cabinets can we start expecting here? Because this was the first one. There's obviously going to be a full line of classic arcade cabinets by Arcade 1-Up. So Street Fighter 2. Definitely think we're going to get like a Street Fighter Yoga Flame or a Street Fighter Shinku Hadouken variation of this cabinet. Also, we're going to get a Pac-Man, a Miss Pac-Man. But what else could we get? There's going to probably be one or two other cabinets in play for a classic edition. I'm not going to speculate on that tonight. Maybe I can kind of prepare a list that I can speculate on for next week for that. But you guys start thinking of ideas too. What games would you like to see in a peasant version or a classic version in your local Walmart? Also, another thing about these Walmart cabinets are that a lot of what I've been hearing is that people across the country, their local Walmart isn't carrying Arcade 1-Up anymore. They used to, but they're not anymore. Maybe with these newer products that they're releasing, we're going to start seeing more in store again. That's my hope. Right now, this is currently only available online. I have not been able to find any pickup options around Phoenix. Papa Brad's Gaming saying, Biggie D, always finding us the deals. I'm always looking for a good deal. Every morning when I wake up, I Google Arcade 1-Up. I look for deals. I look for trends, things that could potentially turn into a deal later. All those things I'm thinking of every day for you guys out there, so you can follow my channel. You can just keep up with the community posts and just see when those deals roll in rather than having to do the shopping yourself. I'm kind of like your one-stop shop for all your home arcade deals. You guys can trust me with that. Jason saying, hope that Pac-Man XL 19-inch 4x3 monitor rocks. Would love to see a Dig Dug come back. Yeah, so Dig Dug would be cool. Would we get a classic edition Dig Dug? Possibly. They do well with the Pac-Man. Would they think they do well with Dig Dug? We'll see. That's a good guess though. Papa Brad's Gaming, a member, he says, on my iArcade, I can play the real class of 81 ROM with the best versions of Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man. They make me so happy. I rolled over the score in Pac-Man. So yeah, I've had some little issues with the versions that Arcade 1-Up puts out on Pac-Man. Just like where Pac-Man will not get killed by the ghosts. I don't know if you've had that issue with the Arcade 1-Up. I've had that happen to me a couple of times where it glitches out and it doesn't kill you and you keep going. I don't like to see that. I wish they would, perfect it. It would be great. Mike Cockert says, at least it has the BOE. Yep, that was the first thing that I thought, if they're going to get the price down on this, where are they going to cut costs? And I'm happy to see they did not cut cost in the screen, because the screen is, yes, you can mod it, but it's not easy. It's not something everyone wants to do. These other things that they've done where they've kind of made some sacrifices are easy to upgrade. They're easy to modify, right? The coin door. We can always go out and get a riser. We can always throw in an LED light strip for the marquee. Those are just very simple, right? But the monitor is not. It's not a simple modification. I mean, you can do it. We saw Mike B do it, but it's not easy. So they did make some sacrifices, but at least it wasn't to the monitor. They've learned their lesson with that, I think. Mike Hawkhurst, he says he just checked his local Walmart, and this version is in stock currently. I'd rather spend the extra bucks for the deluxe personally. So that's really cool. I have not seen Mike Hawkhurst one of these in store yet. So maybe this week I'll start seeing them in store. I want to get into the store too and like make a video and show you guys the box and all that. Kind of like PD7 does each week. He goes into the Walmarts, shows you guys the prices each week. I don't do it as often as he does, but when this hits shelves, I will get out there and do some videos on it. Maybe they'll have a display as well, which would be incredible. Then we can actually see it up close. One thing I've noticed about Walmart lately, though, is they don't do the display. They'll have all the boxes, but they won't have the display anymore for us to play. Steps Gaming says Cyrus wouldn't call in a peasant version. He would call it something way more positive and add absolutely to whatever he says. Yes, he would be like, absolutely, we had the classic edition Mortal Kombat 2, and I absolutely love the Mortal Kombat 2 Classic because absolutely has the best games that I absolutely want to have. I'm just joking. I'm just giving Cyrus a hard time, but we know he does say that a lot. Mike Hawkert says, this is the RGT version of MK. That is a really good joke right there, Mike Hawkert. I hope RGT watches this because this is right up his alley right here. He said he's not going to buy any more Arcade 1-Up, but maybe he would with this because he's getting exactly what he wants. No riser. All right, so I'm going to get into one last Arcade 1-Up subject here. And this one's not super exciting, but I figured I would mention it because this was also news this week, was that the Big Buck Hunter Pro is now available for pre-order. Now, we've looked at this cabinet before. It's not much different than the original. It is a little bit taller. It does have a coin door, and it is the deluxe version, so you don't have the riser and you have the artwork going all the way down to the bottom now. So other than that, not much difference. Same game lineup. One thing I was really unhappy with was no lip marquee. I just could not believe that they skipped out on the lip marquee. Now, one thing I found interesting is that this cabinet is $599. So that worries me a little bit that Time Crisis may come in at $699 because the Big Buck Deluxe is $599. So I'm hoping not. I'm hoping we get Time Crisis at the same price, $600. But they've got two competing kind of products out there at the same time again. You know, when they released Killer Instinct, they released the Killer Instinct Pro around that same time, and it hurt the sales of both. I kind of see that happening a little bit with this situation because they've got two light gun games coming out at the same exact time, even though they're very different in the games and how they play. They are technically two light gun cabinets coming out at the same time. So they're going to be competition for each other, which is never good for Arcade 1-Up. So timing probably isn't the greatest. They probably could have held off a little longer on this one, I think. But they probably want to get this stuff out there because Christmas is coming up. But it is available for pre-order. So if you guys are interested, you can go on Arcade 1-Up. It'll direct you to Best Buy or it'll direct you to Walmart. It looks like currently Best Buy is the only place that you can pre-order it. Walmart, it looks like they're going to have it, but they don't have it available yet if you guys want to go check it out. But nothing really new with this cabinet, but worth mentioning. Mike Hawkert says, if Big Buck Pro is $599, it is hard to imagine Time Crisis being more than $699. It's basically the same tech. Yeah, so I think there's going to be an increase. I want it to be $600 flat on the Time Crisis, but I think there's going to be an increase of $100 based on the pricing of Big Buck. And the reason I say that is you're getting the slide function on the guns with Time Crisis. You're also getting a new license, a new game. So they got to, offset the cost of that new license. Also, you got the big premium marquee on the Time Crisis, where this is not even lit marquee on this one. So I think that's where that jump in price is going to come. If I had to give you guys one last prediction on price for Time Crisis this week, I'm going to go with $699. That's what I'm going to go with. But fingers crossed that it's $599. Absolutely, $599 is a good price for Big Buck Hunter Pro. Laughing out loud. Steps is just joking. He did not mean that. All right, so let's get into just a few closing thoughts with you guys. So these are just like personal things, not so much news related. Just some things that I wanted to discuss to kind of wrap up the live stream with you guys. So first thing is, you guys have been seeing me cover Casinocade. I've been getting a lot of heat for it. Some people like to kind of joke around about Casinocade and the fact that I cover it because it doesn't really fit home arcade. But I made the decision to cover it and stick with it no matter what. And I'm going to continue to do that. And I'm also continuing to see good things coming out of this, and the people that purchase this cabinet being really happy with what they've gotten. And I came across this post on Reddit today. I just wanted to pull it up for you guys because it kind of really explains a lot of what we've been discussing, and the people saying that this Casinocade is crap. It's not worth the money. Screen's too small. I hear it all, right? And so did this person. And they actually believed it. They had some thought that, they may not even want it. But I wanted to read this to you guys. It says, "So I was wrong about the Casinocade. I was apprehensive, thinking the Casinocade would be poorly made or poorly executed. So far, I've actually loved it. I feel is very casino. The games are responsive and fun, and the touchscreen works pretty well. I don't recognize the screen being small. It actually seems to work. Could it be larger? Sure, but I've never had think about how the screen size is when he's playing it." And that's what I've been seeing also in the videos. Like I'm not sitting in front of it when I watch those, but I'm seeing the other people playing them. And as long as you're using the spin button, you're using the light up bet buttons on the game deck, it's still very interactive and fun, and the screens are enough. Where the screen starts to be a real problem, I've noticed, is when you get into the unlockable games. So like if you get blackjack or you get poker or roulette and you start trying to play those games, they don't utilize the game deck. They don't utilize that big spin button. You lose all those controls and you have to use the touch screen. Well, when you have to start putting your finger up to that touch screen and it's covering it, you start to notice how small it is, and it loses a lot of its fun at that point. So if you know what you're getting into and you're just wanting to buy it for the look, you're buying it for Wheel of Fortune, you're going to like it because the 4 Wheel of Fortune games that come on it run and play very good. It's, the screen's not too much of a factor that it's only 10 inches when you're using the game deck. So if you're okay with those 4 games and you think that's enough replay value for you, you're probably going to have a pretty solid casino type experience in your game room. But if you're wanting something where it's got a ton of games on it and you're going to get a lot of replay value for it and you're going to play this majority of the time, this is probably not for you. This is more for something else in your game room that's going to kind of offset everything else that's going on, give you something different, give you something with a totally different vibe and feel. And, also when you have people come over, it just gives you overall a different experience than the arcades would. So there is a place for this. People are buying them. Some people are even reluctant to buy them, but we're seeing even those people are liking it. So I think this is going to be a big seller. The more time that goes on, the more reviews we see, the better this thing's going to do. And it's going to, be doing really well by Christmas time. By Christmas time, every grandma, every retired person, every casino goer is probably going to have already heard or seen this thing at a Best Buy or online somewhere and possibly have considered buying it by that point. Papa Brad's Gaming, one of our members, just super chatted. Big super chat, too, with 4Gs. He goes, "I just bought a creature from the Black Lagoon to bring to Papacade 2.0. I cannot wait to get him. I need to start saving up for a fancy remote microphones so I can keep up with Biggie D, stay legit." So yeah, it looks like Papa Brad is now interested in those DJI mics. The wireless ones, they're great for on the go. And Papa Brad's $10 will be going towards that. So let's run that video. Thank you, Papa Brad. I appreciate the $10. That's great. That's going to go towards those. And we'll be getting some really good video, some really good live streams, some interviews with those mics. I appreciate it. Adrian says, "Yeah, one of my hands would practically cover that tiny screen." And I said, that's where it falls apart on the live stream with Michael B last night. And what I mean by that is that's where everything breaks down, right? The fun that we're getting, the experience that we're getting, we're losing that full experience when you get into the unlockable games, because we have to then only use the touch screen to play, and that it's too small for that. If we can use the buttons on the game deck, it's serviceable. It does its job. But if we have to use that primarily for everything, it doesn't work. Now, one thought I had is this is Wi-Fi compatible. So it does have the ability to receive updates. So is there a way that Arcade 1UP can fix that later on? That's left to be determined. We'll have to wait and see on that and see if they can fix that problem. But that's been one of the common complaints I've been seeing early on. Are the unlockable games are just not that fun. The screen's too small. And that's because we have to touch that screen in order to play those games. Papa Brad's Gaming says, yes, it will be. He will be amazing. Appreciate it, Papa Brad. So just a couple more closing thoughts here for you guys. I did design this new tee. It's a Biggie D's Arcade with the brand new logo I put on it. I think this one looks a little bit better than some of the other tees that I had put out. So I just wanted to make it known to you guys. If you're interested in getting a t-shirt, this is a new one, brand new. Just designed this week. And also Papa Brad, he had purchased a t-shirt off the store, and he had sent me a text message of what it looked like. And it was the Arcade Gamers t-shirt with the really big logo of Arcade Gamers. And I thought it turned out really good. I was really happy with the final product that Papa Brad had purchased. So check that one out. That's the $16 t-shirt where it says Arcade Gamers. That one looks really good. This is a premium tee. This one's $25, but it's only 50% cotton, so it won't shrink. A little better quality. And it's got my brand new logo I just designed on it. Atran saying, cool t-shirt, Biggie D. Goofy saying, cool, don't let them scare those kids. And Papa Brad saying, good, looks good, good quality. Thank you. All right, and then the last thing we're going to wrap up here, guys, is Cleveland is coming up. So I've been discussing it tonight. I'm going to continue on my live streams for the next 3 weeks. We only have 3 more live streams before Cleveland, and I'm going to discuss it more and more each week leading up. But you guys, if you're planning on going, let it be known. Let everybody know that you're going. And I know that a bunch of us content creators right now are working on making a Facebook group. And I think Mike B is going to be leading that and getting everyone involved. That way we can all work together to not only have fun and meet up, but also create good content for anyone who can't make it. So you guys can be a part of that experience and watch it out there. And but if you do have the means and you have the ability to make it, definitely put it on your calendar. Get your tickets, get your plane tickets, get out there because it's going to be a ton of fun. But if you don't make it, we're going to be there for you, and we're going to have plenty of content for you to watch. So that's coming up September 22nd through the 24th. AtGames will be there. Sounds like from what I'm hearing tonight from the chat that Michael from iArcade now potentially may work for AtGames. He's probably going to be there. Also, New Wave Toys is going to be there showing off their huge announcement, major announcement, which a lot of people are speculating could be a 3/4 scale 80s retro arcade that they may be doing. So it's looking more and more like that's a real possibility, like that may actually happen. And that would be released and announced along with AtGames and their 4KP pinball we went over tonight. That's going to be there as well. So there's not going to be any lack of home arcade stuff to talk about and see at this convention. I just cannot wait to get out there and see everybody, meet everybody, and just have a bunch of fun, really. That's what it's all about. All year we talk about these products and we dedicate all this time to these channels and, having fun on YouTube. It's going to be so much more fun, I think, in person to be with everybody. So a lot of really cool stuff coming up. We're getting really close to that date now. So I'm really pumped for that. And Papa Brad had one request. He wanted to see the Batman t-shirt. Old school Batman t-shirts. One of my favorites. But also, I love comic book movies, guys. I don't ever get into that stuff on this channel because it's all home arcade. but I do love comic book movies and comic books. I think I've discussed some of that, and how much I love comic books. But maybe one time I can get a stream where we just discuss something totally different, like movies or comics or something different in subject one night. Also, I see like Papa Brad, he's a member of the channel. Maybe I could set up a live stream, like a members only live stream where we can just talk about whatever. It doesn't even have to be home arcade. So just throwing out, thinking of some ideas here at the very end of our stream. Just kind of put that in y'all's minds as some thought of maybe some future things I may be doing with this channel and talking about. But I hope you guys have enjoyed everything Time Crisis, 4KP Pinball, both really exciting subjects for this week, as well as that new classic edition arcade one up. If you guys are interested in that, go check it out. Less than $300. You can get a brand new arcade one up, online compatible, 14 games. Check that thing out. And I hope you guys have enjoyed. I hope you guys have a good start to your week on Monday. Sunday evening now. If you guys are going to stay up tonight, have a good rest of your evening. And I'll see everyone in the next one. Bye-bye.